India probably, or even at least Kerala, for getting the literatures what exactly that you want. And we were taking that much of pain also. If you ask the research guides, they may be able to clearly explain to you. But when time proceeds, things are getting eased out, and now literature, the process of literature review is actually on your fingertips. So if you are properly oriented towards a system, how you can integrate the technology, this process can actually be done with that ease. So in the next 1 hour or so, I am trying to introduce to you many of the things that you also may be knowing, but and I'll try to put it in a sequence so that you'll all be able to use it in a proper sense. And technology is there for your help, so that nothing that you need not actually spend too much of time in actually organizing all these things and to write the citations, all these things. Even for the search also, that I'm trying to put it in very simple terms, so how you can do it with ease. So this is what my modus of operandi like. So what I'm planning to discuss today is actually on formulating the right keywords, coming down to how that you can use the Boolean phrases to exactly speak on the combination of keywords. And next one will be on usage of the online databases. And if you use online databases also, other than searching, what all things that I request the participants to please mute your microphone. I repeat, please mute your the microphone. Yeah, thank you. So we may be talking further on online databases. I'll be just exposing you to open educational resources. Then how by using technology we can easily do the citation process. Beyond all these things, how that we can effectively use the cloud storage for effectively managing all the files which are related with your PhD, and the ultimate thing, checking about the grammar and plagiarism. So all these the topics that will be going on, and I am not planning all these things as a lecture session. I'll be purely going on with the practical sessions. I'll be just switching from the PPT mode to the real mode, whereby I'll be just showing you each and everything based on its own applications. So, uh, literature review, people are having many misinterpretations, or rather, it may be we may be keeping it apart for our own convenience. I have been meeting many research scholars for years, and if we meet them, we may be asking, "What about the progress of your work?" So immediately they may be telling, "Sir, everything is going fine. I'm in the last stage of the research, and one more thing is left with." So immediately, with curiosity, we may be asking at the end stage, what is there left with? Sir, literature review, I need to finish. Okay. So just imagine, we are actually giving this much of emphasis only for the process of literature reviewing. And mind you, for people who are evaluating thesis, or for people who are actually evaluating, reviewing papers, softwares or technology is for their help to actually find out how effectively that you did your literature review. So it's a software will do all the job, and know in percentage that we will be getting the effectiveness of the literatures what you have reviewed, and how much it is having connect with what all things that we actually does. So things are totally changing. So if you try to review something which is of not use for, or which is of having any connection with your research work, ultimately at the end of the process, you will be converting into a sorry figure. So this is the process what we have to tackle right in the first stage. And it is being told by many universities at least, that at least an year that you have to spend for reviewing the literature, so that this can actually equip your work with more clarity and stability. Second thing is that many of the research scholars, when at least during their open defense or for any of the doctoral committee presentations, they may be telling that my work is so unique that nobody had studied this. So if you are making a statement like that, you have to think 1,000 times before making a statement like that. Because if somebody is saying like that, my opinion on that will be they might not have done proper literature review, or the process how they have gone with the search was totally not in the right sense, or probably they might have used only the keywords what they would have liked for, and no, they might not have attempted a 360-degree approach in generating the right keywords for the search. Mostly, we know that in this plethora of research, literatures, many may be actually going or sticking just to the Google browser, and no, we may be just giving the keywords, or you might have formulated your title of the thesis also. So we will be just pasting the title of the thesis, and we'll be only going as per that. So that is not the right way to actually tackle this. So there are some very easy ways to search for the literatures. And for sure, there may be many literatures which are at least not exactly like that of yours, but it may be very close to you, which actually will be helping you to strengthen your work 100 or no 1,000 times better than what you are actually right now, what you're actually doing right now. So that is why I thought no, we have to actually start with the first process. The first process for literature review is the generation or the formulation of the right keywords. So you may be asking how keywords can be generated. Why also the importance of keywords also I'll tell you. When you try to search the web, especially any of the bibliographical databases, mostly for each and every, if you try to write a paper in a reputed or an index journal, of course under the abstract you have to give a particular thing called keywords. So why these keywords are given is that it will of course enable those people who are actually trying to search to navigate them to the right place where they are exactly asking for. So that is the use of keywords. So when you try to search for the problem what you are trying to address, you have to also generate the right keywords so that you'll be navigated to the right destination. If you use the wrong keywords, you may be going somewhere else, and you all may be knowing that with the Internet of Things, you can get access to anything in the world. So it is more important that you have to navigate to the right place where it is stored. So it is most important that you have to go for searching for the right keywords. I'm not speaking too much on the approach. You all may be knowing that whenever you think of literature review, keep the picture of a funnel in your mind. So this is what exactly that we have to do. From a broader topic, we have to sum down to studies which are very close to you. Then only you'll be able to identify which is the gap that you are trying to fulfill. And most of the experts who comes for your PhD open defense may be asking you a very important question, like what is your contribution to the world of literature? This is a very, even though the question seems to be very simple, if you want to answer that, you have to have a critical knowledge on what all literatures that you have reviewed. And even in universities in Kerala, I don't know whether they have started, but many other universities, it is a must that the thesis should go to a foreign author. So in foreign countries, especially in Europe and all, they may not be looking that much into the analysis aspect of it, but literature review, articles by articles that they will have a thorough look on. And even now, softwares are there for a help also, so it is very easy for them to actually review it, to take whether you have given the right citation, things like that. So this I am not explaining because everyone may be knowing what is this funnel approach is all about. A broader perspective that you have to start with, and you have to sum down, you have to filter it down, and you should get the crux of the material which are actually very close to that of yours. So when you try to review much of the literatures, you may be having thousands of ideas in your mind, because you may have even 1,000 ways how to approach it, and you can have all the permutation combination inside that, and you can have all the discussions maybe in the doctoral committees or research symposiums or whatever it is. And if you try to do this in a very systematic and in a very rigorous manner, you'll be able to get the crux of it at the end of the funnel. So, and what you have there will be really helping you to make your work much better than what it was. So, the next point in that is, before we define the keywords and phrases, you have to learn about a nomenclature or a process whereby how you are planning to save all the files which are related with your PhD work. This is a must. I am telling all these things keeping in mind the budding, the early researchers who are starting their work. The problem, I'll tell you may be saving many things probably in your desktop, probably in the front screen itself, or in the C drive, or in different places where you like. Problem is that you may be having literature review 1, literature review 2. Likewise, you might have numbered many things in your files. You may be having different objectives, you may be having different introductions, and all the things will be made in a messy manner in your system, where initially that you will not find any problem, because no, every day that you probably may be sitting in the system. So at the end part of your work, and if you try to open your system, that you may be all screwed up to see or to locate where you have stored your files. So this is going to be a big sort of issue. And second thing is that you may work probably sitting in your home desktop. When you go to the work, you may be using a laptop, and if you go to the library, you may be using the system which is there provided in the library. So 3 or 4 systems that simultaneously that you may be working with. So those files, if you are trying to update, and those files you are trying to download, where these things are located also can get you into trouble. So the first and foremost thing what you have to go for is a proper data management in your system. Of that, the first thing what you have to do is you have to at least get access to any of the cloud platforms. You all may be knowing that Google Drive, I need not explain to you, many of you may be using it also. At the end of it, if you want you to get exposed to that also I'll tell you, because still my agenda is not that, so that I'm not getting into the intricacies of that. There are many good cloud operating storage. Google Drive is the easiest one, and it is 15 GB of data that you can store it free of cost. Dropbox is another beautiful thing where you can use that also, because if you want to get access, free versions are there, of course, but again, obviously a paid version is good. But Google, there is no problem with that. You can have a free version, and if your storage is all done, that you can even create a new email ID, and you can start storing and everything afresh. So there is no problem in that. So this is the working model what I'm trying to show. So in the cloud storage, so if you are installing a cloud storage, what you have to do is that what all the systems that you use personally, I repeat, what all systems that you use personally, you have to download the drive to the system, so that the syncing process will be done automatically. Never save any of your drive folders in the public systems, like the system what you try to use in your department, or in your research department, or in your library. So those cases, you can upload the files directly to the web, the cloud storage directly, not to the folder which is actually stored in the system. So this is the fragment of how you can do it. You should have a file by name PhD or research or whatever it is, and under that you can keep specific folders without any ambiguity, so that at the first look itself you will be able to know what is what. So under the PhD main folder, or under the research main folder in the Google, in the cloud drive, you can have working files. Working files are actually files that you currently work on. You can keep a file for objectives alone, because objectives, otherwise no, you may be changing the objectives also here and there according to the exposure to the literatures that you are trying to address with. Then for literature review alone, that you have to, under that you can keep different themes, because your study also may be having n number of variables. So one theme can be attributed to 2 or 3 variables. So this type of themes that you have to generate, and for sure one document, one folder that you have to create for all your official things. Whatever that you are getting from the university or or from the guide or from the research center, you have to scan and keep it in the folder ready. And this folder can, of course, you can, because for every cloud storage app, for cloud storage devices, softwares, you can have access to apps also. So you can download the app from either Google Play Store or app stores, and you can keep it handy in your phone always. So you are that mobile, so that you can have access to all the files in wherever you go or whatever time that you want it to be. So this is the structure, and more number of folders that you want to add, you can add according to your whims and fantasies. There is no problem in that. But only thing is that this should not confuse you. This should not confuse you. So this is the first phase that we have to start with. So once you did this, you need not worry about where your data is stored. You very specifically, you'll be knowing that it is in this particular folder, and you have created many subfolders with very specific names, so that identifying a folder or identifying a file or identifying a work will be much more easy for you. So this is the first thing. The first thing I used to call it as the art of folder creation. You may be thinking, what is the art in this? This is an art. You will be able to understand the importance of it when you go to the last stage of your research. That means your thesis writing as such, so that you will be able to know how systematic that you have kept all your files. You need not run here and there. And since the all the files are, and never ever download your drive folder to your C drive. You try to use any other drives, because no, C drive is always under threat. Something happens to your system, then the entire C drive can go. But even then, you are saved since it is stored in the cloud. But even then, it is always safe for you to just move the cloud storage from the C drive to any of the other drives. And even you can keep a separation, a partition purely dedicated for your research work, so that this will cater to all the folder requirements, so that you can systematically march ahead. So the next thing, what we have to, once this is done, next one, what you have to actually think for is, how can I generate the keywords? This is a very simple step, but again complicated as well. Say for example, if we are trying to work something on the pandemic, because now every day newspaper, if you try to open, it is all on COVID-19. So, say for example, if you are trying to start working on pandemic, something related with that, something related with that. Say for example, I am trying to work something on the psychological impact that people are having, or even teachers are having, or researchers are having, or even the work from home effect, the psychological impact of work from home effect because of the pandemic. This is a broad title what you are planning to research on. The first and foremost thing what you can do is, you take down a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen, write down the important words which is coming to your mind first. Split up into like this. So for just explaining to you, I'm just trying to take 3 keywords. Pandemic is one word, psychology is another word, impact is another word. Then if you want to include, you can add work from home, or like no fear of salary reduction, all these things, because no, during a pandemic, anything can happen actually. So all this type of keywords, what all area that you are trying to indulge into, that you want to explore into, you try to make a note of all the keywords which are coming to your mind. It may sometimes be 15, it may sometimes be 20, it can even cross 100 also. There is no problem. Don't limit your keywords. Any number of keywords that you want, you try to generate it as much as possible. So for the time being, I'm just taking 3 keywords here, because if I use 10 or 15 or so, this session will not be enough for me to complete the entire thing. So that, say for example, for the time being, we'll consider taking 3 keywords. Okay. So I'm trying to do a research on the psychological impact people are having with respect to the pandemic. This is what I'm just planning to research on. So when I think about this research, and you may be thinking how to generate keywords. This is a very interesting exercise also that you can do. If you go to a class, or if you are having your research symposium or research consortium or something, there is an exercise what you can do just by showing the title alone. Show the title and tell all other researchers to generally work on what all things, because they have to take down what all things are coming to their mind for the first time. So at least everyone will be able to write 10 or 15 keywords. And this is an exercise what you can also practice. And there is a notion that I should not tell about my research work to anyone, because if they get and if they try to do something bad to me, then I'll be in trouble. So I should not tell anything about my thesis topic. Will be very secret. If you ask me, this is this thinking is having no base at all. Because if you try to discuss it with more and more people, you may be getting insights in a 360-degree dimension. And if you have all the insights, it will be very easy for you and your gate to filter it down. So, and don't be very argumental or no very judgmental. Or no, I should not hear, I should not take anything from what others says. It should not be like that. You have to have a very welcoming mind to take the comments what others are actually telling. And probably during the research presentations and all, that when people started asking questions to you, you may get irritated. You should not get irritated actually. You need to congratulate others for asking you question, because that question, if you try to answer at the first stage, initial stage of your research itself, half the job is done, because nobody is going to question you at the end of it. And if somebody is doing it at the end, and if you don't have answer, you just imagine what an sorry figure that you will be. So that should not happen. So that exercise also that you can plan, so that you'll be hands full of working keywords with you, and you try to keep all the keywords, and you and your guide can sit and try to eliminate what all things that you require and what that you don't require. And those things which you don't require, you don't throw it away anywhere. You can keep it as a separate file, those excluded things, or some name that you can give for the file, and you can just keep it. You may not be knowing when you will be requiring all these things. This is what I told you. Pandemic is a word nobody would have thought of. You just see for the last 3 months, no, the in Facebook or whatever it is, the maximum searched or used keywords is on this pandemic, COVID-19, all these things. Okay, so fine. So this is how you have to generate the keywords. So you may be asking me what next. I'm coming to that. So now we have to draw a split up diagram. So this split up diagram is actually the clear usage of Boolean phrases. So what you have to do is, the first keyword what we have written is pandemic. Okay. So now you have to think pandemic in what perspective. This is what. Okay. So the keyword pandemic itself will be having different implications, or no different views will be there for that. And what are the views that you are going to take is what you have to think on. So for that, we can think of, okay, pandemic in India. Okay, what is the history, or what is the status of pandemic in India? Is it the same across all the states, or it is only affecting the northern region or southern region, or something like that that you can. And the other approach can be pandemic in international context. Okay, so you see one keyword now has got two different dimensions. You can have any number of dimensions. For the time being, I'm just telling you what is the technique for this. Okay, so now the second keyword what we have is psychology. So the psychological impact. So psychological impact can also have different dimensions. The household, because people who are in the house, or what is the psychological impact when we consider the entire household as one unit? What can be, so can we study or can we search a little further on that? Or it can be the official things, because, or not the official, or it can be the office, or which can be attributed towards your job. So house is quite an internal thing, and office is quite an external thing. So these type of dimensions what we can have. See, now you see how our keywords had become little more broad. Pandemic, we have two different dimensions. Psychology also, we have two different dimensions. And the third one is that impact. So impact, we also need to think on that. So we can have two different things: positive impact, negative impact. So you all may be thinking, what is the positive impact of a pandemic? You just imagine, UGC had declared that no students need not write the examination. First semester marks, no, 50% can be granted towards the second semester and make all pass. It can be a positive impact of even a pandemic. So we cannot orient ourselves only to the negative aspects of it. It is not. Positive aspects will be there, which we may not be thinking, but if you try to search on, you may be getting many things like that, many things like that. And you just imagine how our mask business is all going on the very positive side. So even almost all the brands are actually trying to come out with different types of masks. Ladies may be knowing, know, according to the matching sari or your salwar or whatever it is, that masks are now available. So all these type of impacts can also be there on that. So now you just see the keywords has got the wings to fly now. So different dimensions got added up, and now there is a very interesting thing that you have to fix it. This is the Boolean phrases. Okay. So now you can use all these combinations, pandemic, the Indian aspect or the international aspect. So say for example, the household psychological impact of pandemic on India. See, I got a title. Another thing, it can be psychological, impact of pandemic internationally on office-going people. Something like that. Many combinations that you will be able to find out by using these Boolean phrases. And just imagine, with just three keywords, if I can do this, even more dimensions that I'll be able to add to this. So this is how you should actually draw a split up diagram. You need not make it beautiful as this and all. Even you can use an Excel sheet and try to write all these things, so that you need not spend too much of time on the beautification aspect of it, because nobody else is going to see all these things other than you. So the only thing what you have to keep it in mind is that you keep your thought process wide, so that you try to accommodate each and everything that you can, and draw the split up diagram, so that you can have the entire premises of it. So how this is going to help you is that, and from this, if you want, you can go for elimination. There is no problem at all in this. So you can all do that. There is no problem at all. What all and after drawing this, you are feeling that okay, no positive impact I'm not anywhere going to take. You remove that. There is no problem in that. You concentrate only on the negative aspects, and these words can actually be combined enough. Now the second aspect is, don't ever have a strict rule that I will only use the words what I have formulated. It should not be. Why also I'll tell you. For all these words, you have to try with the synonyms also. Because, so for example, teachers, there is a word. There are many synonyms to it. Teachers are called as tutors, educators, faculty members. Different names are actually used for teachers. So if you try to search alone with teachers, all the articles will not come to you. So this is what I said. You have to think of the synonyms of your important keywords also. So say for example, pandemic might be renamed as COVID-19. That instances can also be there. So you have to think of all the possibilities, and you have to make it in writing. And when you try to search, you have to give all these combinations one after the other. Okay. So I repeat, the first and foremost thing what we have to do is on generating the keywords. So once the keyword is generated, we have to actually go on with the split up diagram of having different dimensions, fit your Boolean phrases into it, and try to take all the combinations out of it. So now you are done with the combination. You have enough keywords, you have enough premises, you have enough dimensions, and the next step is to search. Okay. So how to organize, I'll come to it. So now we are going little practical. Since you do all these things, normally what happens is the easiest way is to just use Google and to just go on with the search. The problem with you can do it, there is no problem. But problem is that the Google general search window is not actually oriented for a researcher's framework, okay, or researcher's help actually. Instead, for than using just Google, you can try using scholar.google.com. So I'll be taking you all across to all the platforms, one after the other. And before we go, we have to understand certain important things. You have to have a clear idea on where you are going to search. Okay, where you are going to search. So this is a big question. Why? Because money is involved in this. So money in the sense, Google, it is, of course, it is free, but the articles what you are trying to locate may not be freely available for you. It may not be freely available for you. Why? Because most of the things Google may be trying to search it from any of the bibliographical or any of the online databases, big databases like EBSCO, Emerald, JSTOR, no, things like that. So what happens is that if you may be having access to probably the title alone, or maximum it can be up to the abstract. Beyond that, if you want to go and read, or if you want to just take something out from that, you will not be able to do that. So for any research department, two things is a must. First thing is that at least any of the online databases that the research center should have a subscription. It can because in a college or in a research center, sometimes for the use of research center alone, they may not be able to buy. But at least for the library, this type of databases should be made available. The most important databases what these days people use is EBSCO, Emerald, just all these things, and even AICT and UGC is actually insisting on that no every institute should have access to this. Second thing is that a research department should have a software to check the grammar and the plagiarism. So in my presentation, I have planned everything. I'll be just showing you what all things that you have to keep ready for the researchers to actually use. And many of the university libraries are actually open for all these things, because if you pay a nominal fee, maybe 25 rupee or 30 rupees, that you can just go and have access to all these things. But it may not be possible for you to go every day and do all these things. But if your research center, if your own domestic place, if it is having, you can have access to it anytime that you wish. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is that I'll be just exposing you to each and everything. So for that, what we require is we require browser to be opened, and we can write uh, scholar.google.com. Okay, so you can just go to the Scholar. So you just imagine the first articles about COVID-19. We thought of it, and the Google itself is giving you an indication towards that. This is what I said. The most important or the searched word is actually on pandemic or COVID-19, and you can have a specific search on Elsevier or Nature or Science or Oxford or Wiley. All these things is specifically that if you want to search for. But the problem here is actually you may not be getting free access to all these things. So now, so I'm not, because you all might have exposed this. Now what I'm trying to show to you is we can just go to Emerald. So if you go to Emerald Insight, this is the site probably that you will be getting. This is called Emerald Insight. So for bibliographical databases or for cloud databases, there are two types of usage or users. I'll be showing it one by one to you. I'm using a paid content. I'll be just showing to you what is actually the difference. Okay. So okay, fine. So I have got logged into the particular thing. So now it is all ready for my search. And meanwhile, I'll take EBSCO also. Uh, this is also a paid version, what I'm trying to log in. Just a second. Institution login is not. Yeah, I'll be showing it to you just a second. Okay, fine. We'll tell about this first, and after that I'll be going to that. So the login, what I currently have is, you can see on the leftmost corner the name of the person who had actually logged in. This login is actually an institution login with individual accounts. So the advantage of this is, there can be two accounts for an online database website. One is an institutional login and another one is an institutional login with individual accounts. Okay. So institutional login, if you have, you can search and you can download and you can read through whatever things that you have. There is no problem at all. But the disadvantage is that you cannot save any search, or you cannot have a individualized profile within that particular platform. So for example, I'll try to tell you how this actually works. Okay. So there is a place called saved search. If you have an individualized account, what all search that you are planning to do, you can save all the search, whereby you can avoid duplication further. So all the saved search will be saved in the profile, which is attributed to the a user specifically. And at any point of time, if you try to log in, you'll be able to see what all sites, what all articles that you have already reviewed. Because when you try to search, and you may not be doing this for a single day, you may be taking months or even years for doing the entire process. So you may not be knowing after certain time which are the articles that you have already reviewed, which are the articles that you have already seen. So all this information that you will not be available. So if you have an individualized account inside an institutional thing, it is always easy for you to arrange your articles according to whether you have visited it or things like that. So what you can do is that you can just click on the search button, and you just type. We are just for the same thing what we have taken, that we are trying to just now search that. So three words only that I've given. I have not considered the dimensions of it, just psychological impact of pandemic. That alone, that I have searched for. So many articles will be here, and you can go for the advanced search. So advanced search, you will be all Emerald content. If you want to particularly search with journal articles alone, that you can keep a tick here. Books, you can keep a tick here, and case studies that you can. So all the things that you will be able to. And if you want to add a date range also, that because you just are only looking for the very recent articles, that you will be able to go for that. Okay. So that part. And if you want to save the search also, that you will be able to save the search. If you go to the previous window, there is a plus button here. So what all things that you want to so if you do it like that, you can just save the search, so that the search will be, see, psychological impact of pandemic. It will be automatically saved here. So which will allow you to, even if you want to just go back and have a review of that also at any point of time on any day, that you will be able to do it. But the problem with the institutional alone account is that you may not be able to create a profile here. And many of the databases, what they plan to do is they may be giving you a LAN license. So when taking the license also, you have to be little careful. Don't go for any of the LAN license, because they may be attributing it to a few systems which are there in your library. So because no, you may not be able to do anything if you go home, or if you go to any other places, it will be very difficult for you to work on this particular thing. So if you are ordering for a database, it has to be based on online, or it can either be the domain based, because no, people who are having a domain email ID can have access. No, many options are there. So don't look alone for the cost aspect of it. These type of facilities also that you have to search for. So now what we did was we have gotten access to one article. Now the second aspect is that you have to read the title of all these things. So for forgotten influenza pandemic lull of return, this is not actually direct with our study. Planning for disruptions on global operations, that is also not. Doing business in shadow of pandemic, this is also not directly related. So impact of HIV/AIDS on school children. So now your duty is actually to stick on. See, now potential effect on Chinese citizen lifestyle and travel. This can actually be little related with the internal aspects of a psychological impact, because it is a potential effect actually on their lifestyle, how it has changed their life, and what all things that they did. This is a very recent article also. So on publication date is on May 8th, a very recent one. So all the contents are actually also available here. So we will just try to see how that we can. And if you want to see the summary of it, all these things will be there. The abstract is there. See, this is the importance of keyword. You just imagine COVID-19, it is there. Lifestyle, it is there. Travel behavior, post-disaster, collective orientation, things like that are there. And the major findings also. This will give you a glimpse of what exactly it is. But we have to actually go and we have to take this. And the one golden rule, what I want to just tell you is, if you don't have time to download and read a paper, never ever download it. And now there is no need for downloading any paper that you want. There is no need at all for downloading any paper, because everything is available. And why you want to just store your system with full of papers? And I'm sure that those researchers who are downloading the papers, 10% of what they have downloaded, they will not be reading. Okay. And the easiest way, what we normally does is that we may be just copying the abstract, and we may be telling that, okay, they said that such, all these things. Okay, we'll be just closing with that. So it should not be the aspect. Now, the question is, you got an article. Okay. So now this is a fully, the full content of this article is available for you. You can have access to it. There is no problem for it. So you have the full access. You can read it. And if you go to the previous page, if you want to download it as HTML, you will be able to do it. If you want to download it as a PDF also, you will be able to do it. So all the things are actually available for you. So the entire article is now ready for you. So now what you have to do is that you may be going to the paper research, so abstract, and here no, you will be able to see what all major headings are there. Those headings also you will be able to find here. And if you try to keywords introduction, so citation also will be free. So if you want to download the citation also, it is possible. So now what we are planning to do is how that we should cite this by using technology. So first of all, I am just going to use our own MS Word, where you have all the options for a citation. So we will try to just see how this is going. So now for the time being, I am just going to commit a mistake initially. because for the purpose of review, I'm just copying the abstract of the study all alone. Okay, I'm just trying to copy the abstract. Normally, this has been done by all the researchers. The problem by with copying this also, I'll show you. So now after this, what you have to do is that you have to actually open an MS Word page, and what you will be doing is that, so you say, for example, this is a page where the literature review starts. So you have just pasted it, and the design heading you have removed, because what others will think if you keep the heading also in that. So the first review of the article, that you may be thinking that it is all done. Fine. Now, if I give the reference, it is all done because my thing is done. So novel coronavirus outbreak is projected to have all these things. So this is the abstract of this, and study said so. So now initially we'll be learning on how that we have to we have to show the references. Okay. So for that, what you have to do is you have to go to your Word file, and you have to think on references. You have to just click on references. So if you click on references, there is a tab by name Insert Citation. Okay, so you can click on Insert Citation, and type of the source. The Word will be asking you many number of things. Is it a book section? It is an article in a journal. It is an article in a periodical. Is it a conference proceeding, a report, a website, a document from a website? Is it an electronic source? What not? Everything it will be asking. So for the time being, we have taken it from a journal article. So, and bibliographical fields are as per APA, that if you want to change it also, that you'll be able to change, and language of that also it'll be taking that you can actually take it for UK. So now if you click down here, you can see APA style. Okay. So if you try to cancel it also here, any number of styles that you can see: APA, Chicago, GB 7714, so Harvard, all this MLA, any number of things are there. So these things are actually different formats of reporting, and whatever your thesis or the paper says, you have to follow that. So mostly it will be APA or MLA style, or even some papers are insisting on Harvard also. So APA, it is the sixth edition, which it is going. So this is a very recent one. So now you go to Insert Citation. So article in a journal, language that we prefer English UK. Now you have to fill the authors. So here the problem is you have four number of authors. So what you have to do here is you have to click on edit. So add names will come. So what you have to do is that the first author you have to copy. First author you just copy, and you have to paste it here. But now the important thing is that the last name should be pasted first. So cut this and put it as the first one. Okay. Then click on add. Sorry. You have to, okay, that is added. And second author, the same way that you can do, you copy the second author also. Copy the second author, paste it here. The last name should be shown first. So middle name, that you can click on this plus, so that automatically it will be added here. And unfortunately, we have selected an article where many number of authors are there. So it will eat some of our time. So no problem, I'll make it fast. So this is also there. So you can keep a plus and the last author. We are done with that. And pronouncing the names will be little difficult. So no problem since it is Chinese. Okay, fine. So all those things that we does, it is all done. Now click on OK. And sometimes certain articles may be authored corporate by the corporate author. There not be any single author. A company may be writing something on that. If that is the case, you click on the corporate author, and whatever it is there, you write. Now the title is this one. You can just copy it, and you can just keep the title here. That is also done. Then journal name is tourism review. Journal name is actually tourism review that you can give. And the year, everything, the published date is actually 8th May 2020. So year only you can give, and pages also that you have to, you just see the review, which the citation which is given, so that page number also can be found here. Here page number, print number only is given. So the download file, the PDF file that you see, that you will be able to see it here in the PDF. If you download the page number, for the time being, I'm just giving 50 to 55. Okay, so this is how it is. So now what you can do is that you just click on OK. So see, automatically the citation had come